Kimberley Martin from ESPN on Get Up had this to say about the Baker Mayfield situation with the Browns.
I will say off the bat, I was never an NFL quarterback, so I don't look at it from that perspective. And when I look at it from the outside, to me, Baker Mayfield is the one who has the least amount of leverage here, because we talked earlier about Deebo Samuel. He might want to be traded. The San Francisco 49ers determine whether he's going to be traded. Same thing with the Browns. I know some teams are looking at some of these draft prospects and trying to decide, do we want to go with the cheaper option? What we're going to wait to see how the draft shakes out. The Browns don't feel forced to do anything with Baker. Like, he's on their roster. And I know some teams might feel like, we'll just wait out the Browns. They got to release him at some point. We're going to pick him up at that point. But the Browns, it's not ideal, but they technically could hold on to him. It's not a situation that you would want, but that still is an option. Now, as far as leverage goes, the Browns went after the quarterback they wanted. Kevin Stefanski saying this is a unique situation. It's really not. You upgraded at the quarterback position. That's what you wanted to do. Now you just got to get rid of the guy you didn't want. That happens in the NFL all the time.
And Tim, the other thing I'd say is leverage is something that changes. So there's no rush to trade Baker Mayfield.
No, not at all. And I mean, I'm sure it kind of, to me, in a way, comes down to a game of chicken. Who's going to blink first? I mean, our team's really going to test the Browns to see if they're going to hang on to Baker and his $18.9 million throughout the season, just pay him to stay home. I think that's unlikely, but I feel like that's more likely, in my opinion, than them just cutting him and getting nothing for him. Because if you at least keep him, you have a chance to gain a compensatory draft pick in 2024 for, whoever signs him that following off season. As for, trade leverage, I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see how it plays out. I think we're not going to know many more answers till day one, just kind of based on how this goes. And I think if you're the Browns, if you're hoping for leverage, I think you got to look at picks 6, 7, and 8. The Carolina Panthers have the 6th pick. They're obviously interested in Baker based on, a lot of reporting out there. Maybe they trade down to try and get a couple extra picks because they don't have a 2nd or a 3rd this year. Try and get some extra mid-round picks to create some ammunition to give the Browns one of those picks for Baker. And then, or, option B is we know the Seahawks are in the market as well. They have the 9th pick. I wonder how much, if anybody's kind of not thinking about this, but what if there's a possibility that if there's a way to create leverage, maybe someone's hoping that, someone jumps and trades for the 7th pick from the Giants or the 8th pick for the Falcons to jump ahead of Seattle to take a quarterback, leaving Seattle without the quarterback or 2 that they could possibly want. And then all of a sudden, Baker Mayfield looks a lot more compelling to the Seahawks. So I think obviously it's going to play out as early as next Thursday night, how this all shakes out. But, it's just kind of comes down to who blinks first. And ultimately, we're going to know a lot more about how the quarterback market's going to shape out after Thursday night's first round.